I look like the guy from You. Hey dude, don't know if anyone's ever told you, but you actually look like the guy from this show You, that's on Netflix. Did you know that you look like the guy from You? Hey Luke, did you know that you look like Martin Garrix? Hey Luke, did you know that you look like my friend? I get it. I've heard it.
Somewhere on the sea, it got a little longer, so it seems. I burned out, so to speak.
Oh, come a little closer. Oh, yeah, that's it. I'm feeling it today, ladies and gentlemen. Can we just stop before we begin? Like, let's stop before we start even and appreciate how much of a consistently funky jam this is. There's literally no better vibe to start the podcast. Try and pick a better vibe. Like, put it this way, your vibe might have been off before coming into this podcast. You might be at uni, school, train, God forbid, you might even be on a bus right now listening to this. And look, my heart goes out to you if you are on a bus, but boom, you fade this up. Whatever vibe that was, if you needed a vibe check before this podcast, here it is. Oh, just check. Your vibe's fucking sick now. Don't worry about it. No worries in the world. This is like the modern Hakuna Matata, you know? No worries, because this song is playing. I think it's called like Jello by like, look, the link is in the description. Okay, whatever. But this song is just, I nailed it from day one. I just don't think we appreciate that enough on this show, how catchy that song is. I don't think there's a single person that dislikes the song, really. I've got nothing but good feedback. Everyone's just like, doesn't matter. You could be one of those heavy metal dudes. Like, bro, I like Slipknot and Parkway Drive. Now, heavy metal dudes might get mad at that, comparing those two bands. Whatever. It all sounds like shit to me. You might be into that. You might have a skull tattooed on your head. And even that, you'd be like, oh, dang. Now my skull's grooving on my face. Like, honestly, I actually wish I had this song here all the time to deliver bad. Like if someone delivered bad news to me, I wish this song was playing, you know? Because it wouldn't matter what the news was. It could be like, you know, oh, you've got cancer. Ooh, really? What kind? Dancing cancer? Don't think so. Can I dance it away? No, mate, you gotta do chemotherapy. That's fine, as long as I'm fucking grooving while doing it. Ooh. For example, here's another one, right? Okay. If someone came up to me and was like, Luke, your beloved dog who's been your best friend of 15 years just got run over by a bulldozer. And then a bus came along and shut out all its exhaust over the carcass of your pancake dog. I'd be like, oh, you're kidding. No, I'm not kidding. That just happened at the front. Then they just go. I'd be like, what? My dog? Oh my God. Can we dance on its fucking grave to this? Let's be honest. This song has been danced to on many a graves, because this is the song I want at my funeral, maybe. Just like, I want to make it a dance party. The point is, guys, this song is a banger, okay? And I've got a lot to talk about, so we can't stay on the song forever. And I forgot to do the intro of the podcast. Welcome to chapter 100 and probably 142 of, what are we doing today? Fictional narratives of a frosted fellow. There we go. And we're doing it. And look, yes, did I do a podcast last week? No. Is there one this week? Yes, you're listening to it. Am I perfect? No. Am I perfect, actually? Yes. Okay, my life is a fucking fat old swish, all right? Nothing but net. And I've just been killing it. I did promise one every week, and that's why you don't make promises, okay? That's why 50% of marriages end in divorce, because people don't keep promises. But next week, let's hope there's another podcast, okay? And there probably should be. It was just, you know how it is. I'm still organizing. I've been very consistent on YouTube lately. Okay, I've been uploading the vids. Hope you've been enjoying all that thick, juicy content coming at you thick and fast. There's a bunch of things I want to talk about. Where should we start? I want to talk about going to the dog park this week. Okay, let's start there, okay? If you thought strip clubs were lonely, go to a dog park. God damn. Meg and I have been going. She's got a couple of dogs. Like her parents have a couple of dogs. So we take them for walks. The dog park's near our house. And I was like, you know what? Let's get outside. Get some vitamin D. That's what I need. Some vitamin D and some vitamin dog. The 2 Ds that keep you going. And dick. If you want a third D, there's always that too. Right? But I like those 2 Ds. Vitamin D and vitamin dog. So I was like, fuck yeah, let's dog it up. And I went to the dog park. And it's essentially just an oval that dogs run around. Nothing interesting really about the dogs. They just sniff each other's butts. Actually, you know what? People think dogs are intelligent. I used to think that too. And then I went to a dog park and I was like, why are these creatures man's best friend? Why is man's best friend sniffing each other's assholes on repeat? Like you watch one, like, and then they move on to the next dog, and then they go back to the original dog to just compare. I don't know what goes through a dog's mind. Like, I've sniffed your ass, and I've sniffed your ass. Let me start at the start of the queue again, and I'll just work my way back through. And they're just taking in turns of butt sniffing, and then they see something move, and they go, "Ooh, a ball!" And then they realize it was a leaf, and then still go and get it anyway. Then they go, "Oh, haven't sniffed a butt in a while," and then they go back. So that's what the dog park is. But what fascinated me about the dog park wasn't the dogs. Okay, dogs just sniff butts. But the humans, honestly, would have been better if all the people had just been sniffing butts, because just the chat that you have to endure at the dog park. Oh, Lord. Lordy McLordface. Just, there's like people, and these are dog enthusiasts. Now, I don't have a dog. So they kept asking me like, "Oh, how old's yours?" And I'm like, "It's not mine. It's my girlfriend's, and I think it's 12. I don't know. It's pretty old." "Oh my God, 12? She's so cute though. She's so little." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a small dog. It's just a breed." And then they're like, "Oh, cool." And then they expect me to ask how old's theirs. They're like, "Oh," so, and then I just don't. I just sit staring there and go, "Okay." And then I just go back on my phone while the dog runs around. And then they go, "Mine's 11." And I go, "Okay, great." And then I keep going on my phone. He goes, "Yep, we got her, blah, blah, blah." And they start telling you the life story about their dog. She actually had surgery a couple of years ago, but she's a lot better now. Look at her running around. And I'm like, yes, she is running up. I think she's got her nose up another dog's asshole. You might want to put a stop to that. And they just keep talking, right? And you just have to be like, I don't give a fuck about your dog. This is another thing that happens at the dog park. Some people, it's their lives. There was one lady there with like 5 dogs. What kind of hole in your life are you trying to fill by having 5 dogs? What kind of gaping crater in your social life are you trying to cover up with 5 dogs? Like, "Oh, they're my friends." She was one of those people. She's like, "They're my family." And I was like, "No, your family's your family. They're your adopted dogs." I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Good on her. They're probably in a great home. She loves them. That's awesome, right? I love pets. It's just that I don't care about a stranger's dog. Love my friends' dogs. Actually, one of my mates is a very smelly dog. Okay, Stefan, give Hugo a fucking scrub. All right, if you're listening. Goddamn, I haven't seen his dog in a while. Just a real stanky dog. It was a Labrador. Labrador's a stanky, dude. But there's some dogs that are great, and there's some dogs that are majestic. I pretty much walk around the dog park and go, "Oh, that one looks like the dog from that movie, and that one looks like Bolt, and that one looks like Clifford. It shouldn't be red. Fuck." No. But like, I just go and point out which ones look like celebrity dogs. And then I leave, and then Meg goes, "You know, you've got to be a little more like nice to people at the dog park." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Do I have a dog?" She's like, "Well, no, but it's just that I'm like, "Great." Until the day comes where that's my life, where I'm the fucking guy going, "Yep, she's 11." And by the way, it'll come. There'll be a time in my life where I'm telling complete strangers how old my dog is, and where we got it, what the breed is, what it eats, when its last surgery was, right? How it likes its belly being rubbed. There'll be a time in my life. And when that time comes, I'm gone, guys. Say goodbye to this, Luke, because I'll be shopping at Rivers, wearing Crocs. I'll have like a little poo bag around my wrist, and my life will be over. Dig me a grave at that point. If I ever get to that point in my life, dig me a hole, because that's it. That's the end, isn't it? Honestly, I'd rather be in a coma, because at that point, what part of your brain are you actually utilizing to have those conversations? All right, unlike me, who has intellectual conversations on a day-to-day basis. For example, hey friend, you seen Speck and McGee? Sorry, read it. It's not a movie yet. Wish it was. Damn. You read Speck and McGee? They go, no, what's that? And I go, strap in for 3 hours of a story about a boy named Simon McGee who played AFL footy and just was never understood. Didn't know who his real parents were. Had a little bit of a fling with Tiger Girl, but his actual girlfriend, like, dude, that's an intellectual conversation. That's what I'm currently stimulating my brain with until I actually start talking about, you know what? I actually had an intellectual conversation this week about like climate change, and I had a migraine afterwards. I was just like, oh my God, I think my head is experiencing a global warming. There is just a lot of brain. I think I lost brain cells by the end from thinking too hard. But yeah, so I've been going to the dog park, and that's been a thing in my life that I probably am going to change. I'm just not there yet. That's what I realized. I was like, nope, I still feel I'm too young for this. I feel too alive to be putting myself through these mundane conversations. So that's where I'm at. The Australian Open has started in Melbourne. I'm actually going tomorrow to see the Veronicas live. That's the thing. I'm going to the tennis, but I'm going because the Veronicas are playing live. And I've just realized that it's going to be the third time in 3 months seeing the Veronicas play live. And that is something, if you had have asked me 3 months ago, like if you had have told me 3 months ago, Luke, in the next 3 months, you're going to go from never before once in your life thinking about the Veronicas to seeing them 3 times live, one side of stage in the next 3 months, I would have been like, get the fuck out of here. Why would I do that? And you know what? That's my reality now, and I don't hate it. I'm so excited, dude. Take me on the floor. And I feel so untouched right now. I'm a talent. I'm really good at singing. I should probably do lessons. I don't need them. What am I kidding? Imagine that. Me going in there, just acing the whole thing, and them going like what would they do? Like, you know, like usually whenever I try a thing, I just go in there and the teacher just hands me over. Like say if I went into a guitar lesson, right? I go in there, I start shredding, right? Because my life is a fat old swish, right? And the guitar teacher would just hand me the guitar and be like, I'm not worthy, right? And then you teach me. But vocal lessons, what do? Hand me their voice box? They'd probably just quit. I'm the best. I need to read tour dates. Speaking of me, just
Swish, swish, bish.
nailing it. We got a regional tour coming up, Lewis and I. It starts in 2 weeks' time today when I'm recording this on the Wednesday, all right? It starts on the 5th of February. It's going to be super fun. We're going to Warrnambool first on February 5th, then Ballarat. This is a stand-up tour, by the way, with myself and Lewis Spears. We're doing a joint tour. We're going up the East Coast in a motorhome, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping to take this podcast on the road, as well as we'll be taking the Luke and Lewis podcast on the road. So there'll be some RV episodes of this one. Get ready for that. Ballarat, Shepparton, Wagga Wagga, Bathurst, Central Coast, Port Macquarie, Toowoomba, Bundaberg, Rockhampton, MACQUARIE, Townsville, and CAIRNS. They are all going to be absolutely banger shows. I'm super excited. I've never even been to most of those places before, so that will be super fun. And people have been asking me for years, like, when you come to Townsville, when you come to CAIRNS, you never come to CAIRNS or whatever. This is your chance, okay? This is what I hate. This is the most frustrating thing. And look, it may not necessarily be your fault. I'm not blaming you guys. It's just very frustrating as a performer when you're like, come to Townsville. And then you're like, sweet. So you spend ages trying to figure it out to make 10 people happy. And then you're like, because, you know, I might get 10 messages every couple of months going like, come to Townsville. I was like, all right, cool. So you organize it, and then you put the show on sale, and then they go, oh, no, I'm washing my hair that night. Fuck off. No, sorry, I got Damo's, like, it's not his 21st, but, like, he just invited the boys over for beers, and we thought we'd just, like, play Xbox, and, like, so, yeah, no, we're doing bongs that night. And you're like, oh, sick. Glad I drove all the way up the fucking country. So my point is, would love it if you came. If you live in the vicinity of one of these places, would mean the world if you came. Because, look, we probably won't be back for a while. This is your chance to see myself live and Lewis Spears as well. So he's a very funny man. Obviously, I'm straight up killing it. I actually do. This is the thing. I keep, look, maybe have a lot of fun on this podcast, right? A lot of swishes, and that's fine. But legitimately, I did a new, like, 5 minutes at a gig. It would have been like, well, probably like last week now. Yeah, it was like late last week. I did like a new 5 minutes, and I was like umming and ahhing about it. Usually my best material comes with, like, when I'm kind of least expecting it. Like, the bits I think are going to hit really hard, kind of just like are the okay bits, and the bits where I'm like, I find funny, but I'm like, I don't know, like, this could be a risk. People might not get it or whatever. Those bits always end up being the best bits for some reason. So I went in with this, like, completely new 5 minutes going like, fuck, I hope this works. There was like 40 people at the gig, and I was like, oh, there's some really silly shit in here. Like, this may not hit at all. Some obscure references, and god damn.
Swish, swish, bish.
Out of the park, that set. I haven't crushed that hard at ages, and it was so good because I was like, it was just relief, really. So yeah, I'm really excited about next year. It's definitely going to be my best show yet. I'll be doing all the stuff at the regional shows as well. So if you come to the regional shows, you'll see, like, pretty much what I've got so far for my tour this year. Which I'm still writing the show, but so far, god damn, it's been awesome. And then had to completely bail out of there because I fucking killed. And then I was like, oh god, murder. I checked. I had to quickly duck, go. Is murdering on a regular basis illegal in Australia? DuckDuckGo said yes. Punishable by life in jail. So I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of there, right? And then and now I'm just essentially a fugitive because I can't help it when I ride a new Type 5. All right, it's not my problem that my new shit kills all the time. I did bomb like 2 weeks ago, but like before then, I've been really having a good run with it. So yeah, I'm kind of like, if you see a cop, right, just, and they go, where is he? I just go, don't know what you're talking about, officer, and don't tell him, okay, or her, or it, all right, or I don't know what pronoun, whatever, okay. So yeah, I've been smashing. Would love to see you at the shows. LukeKidgell.com for tickets. Woo! Get on it. Here's another thing that happened. Oh, yeah, so the Aussie Open, right? I've literally forgot what I was going to say. The Aussie Open started this week. I'm going tomorrow. But something happened, I think it was yesterday on court, where a player who's ranked 229th in the world had the audacity, the confidence, which I kind of respect. A part of me is like, what he did, I was like, you're a piece of shit. And a part of me is like, god damn, I wouldn't have done it. But hats off to you. A guy who was ranked 229th was like sitting on the court, and he asked a ball girl to go get him a banana, which they're allowed to do. They're allowed to ask for like food, water, and balls, right? And he goes, this girl, like, get me the banana. And then he goes, oh, can you peel it for me? And this girl just looks at him like, are you fucking... Did you just ask me to peel your banana, you grown-ass adult? You want me to peel your banana, do ya? Huh? Want me to wipe your ass while you're at it? What else do you want me to do? Like, she looked at him, she was so angry. Then the girl looked at him, like, what? And then she looked at the umpire like, is he going to... There's no way. And the umpire then told off the guy. for asking her to peel the banana. It was so funny. It was a great bit of audio. And oh sorry, I watched the video. It was amazing because, dude, the umpire was like, no, open it yourself. It's not her job, right? She's not your servant, right? She's not your slave. That's insane. And apparently his excuse afterwards was like, oh, I had cream on my hands, so I couldn't open the banana peel, so I ended up biting it open. Oh, you had cream on your hands, did you? Dude, you're 229th in the world. If I was a ball boy and Roger Federer, even getting him a banana, right? Getting the 229th guy in the world, if he asked me for a banana, I'd be like, you don't fucking deserve this. Okay, get better at tennis. 229th in the world. Dude, there's 228 people better than you, and you have the audacity to ask me for a piece of fruit. No way. If Roger Federer asked me for a banana, I'd be like, you know what, Rog? You've bloody earned this. Even if Roger Federer asked me, or Djokovic, Nadal, any of the top players were like, peel it for me, I'd be like, oh, really? Okay. And I'd just start jacking off in front of them. They'd be like, what are you doing? Oh, you just told me to go fuck myself. Huh? Because I'm not doing that. So I'll just go fuck myself. So I just have to start jacking off on center court because they've asked me to peel a banana for. I'm not doing that. I'd rather go and fuck myself. That's so rude, right? She's a ball girl, not a banana peel girl. That's not a job. You know why? Because you got hands. Oh, but I just put cream on them. So he put cream on his hands so they don't sweat. I thought it was like a medical thing at first. I thought like, dude, if you can't, let's be honest, if you can't peel your own banana, you shouldn't be playing tennis. You therefore could not play a 6-set game of tennis in the Australian heat. You're just not cut out for it. It's bare minimum. Peel your own banana, man. That was so funny. And I loved that the umpire intervened and was like, no, you're a grown-up. Do it yourself. Apparently, the umpire said, allegedly, don't quote me on this, I read an article on, 7 News. Actually, that's probably a legitimate source, but it said like the umpire called him a nasty piece of work, or someone did. Someone called him a nasty piece of work. And after I read that article, I was like, God damn, slow news day, huh? Which is good because Australia's had too much news recently. All right, there's been floods, there's been fires. Really, if that's what's being reported, probably a good thing. This is definitely a good thing. Man, Australia needs to figure its shit out. Whoever's running the weather department, look, I don't know if I believe in like a higher power, but if I did, whoever's running that weather department up there, God damn, get your shit together. This week, twice it's happened where it's been thunderstorms, raining, hailing. There was hail the other day, and while it was hailing, balls of ice, it was 28 degrees Celsius. Now, I'm not a calculator, so if you're an international listener, figure it out. 28 Celsius is whatever a reasonably high Fahrenheit is, but I'm not a calculator, so I'm not an app on your phone, so you can do that yourself. And that's insane. Like people always go, oh, Melbourne, like 4 seasons in one day. It's never 4 seasons at once. Like the people go, oh, it rains in the morning, bloody sunny in the afternoon, then it's windy at night. Would you look at that? Classic Melbourne. I'm looking outside going, I'm sweating while watching hailing and my backyard flood. What's happening? And it's humid. It's so sticky. God, it was sticky heat. It was bad. So I don't know how people are out here still denying climate change. Queensland is flooding right now. Movie World flooded. That's the only reason why I know that. No one gave a shit about the floods in Queensland until a theme park flooded. Everyone was like, no, I like the Superman ride. That's bullshit. Like, Queensland was flooding for a week before that, and then as soon as Movie World, the car park went underwater, people were like, God damn, it's getting bad, man. We almost lost the Joker ride. We can't have that. That is an Australian icon. So, yeah, I don't know, like, I think the fire's still pretty bad and stuff. And by the way, an update, thank you all very much. We ended up raising, last week, I put my comedy special, my comedy special last week, 100% of the proceeds was going towards the CFA Bushfire. I can't speak. What the fuck is happening to my brain? 100% of the proceeds is going towards the CFA Bushfire disaster appeal. And I was like, look, if we raise $200, that is awesome. We ended up raising just below $1,400. It was like $1,390, I think. So I bumped that up to $1,500 with my own money, just to make it a juicy round figure to donate. And so, yeah, that's so cool. So thank you very much to all the people who bought the special. You did a very good thing, and I'm glad I could use this little platform that I have to make somewhat of a difference, hopefully. So that's really cool. So thank you very much to everyone. You're all good people, and that's what I love about Aussies, when we all stick together. It's great. What else do we need to talk about? Oh, yeah, there's the weather. Yeah, I just think the weather department's screwed. Like, if there's people up in the clouds right now, and they're going like they've clearly just put the Earth or the Australian weather settings on autopilot, and no one's done any maintenance on that because the machine is just fucking up. All right, there's probably, let's be honest, if there was a higher power, it'd just be a committee of old white men making decisions about things that they know nothing about. Right, similar to our power, to the people in power. So, like, someone's probably just gone, all right, have we checked the weather? No, we haven't. What's going on down there? And then whoever's the charge of weather guy, probably an alcoholic, let's be honest, because, like, he's not doing his job, right? So he's going, oh, Jim, have you been keeping on top of the weather? What's happening in Australia at the moment? Oh, fuck, I've gone on another bender. Good on you, Jim. Now this many fucking koalas are dead, dickhead. Now dude, like, what's happening? It's like they pressed weather and then they selected all the options and then we're like, fuck them, just do it all. And then that's what we've been getting in Australia. So I hope wherever you are in the world, lots of you probably are Australian, I hope you're safe. Wherever else you are in the world, man, you could be in, honestly, there was a thunderclap the other day that sounded like I was in a war zone. It's the closest I've ever felt like to being grenade bombed at my own home. I was walking down the hallway. There was this massive clap of thunder, and I was holding my phone, and I just jumped. I went, oh, like that, out loud, and I dropped my phone. It was that loud. It scared the shit out of me. It was bad. It was the first time I've ever realized. I was like, oh, Queen was spot on. Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening. Unbelievable. It was rough to watch. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, we need to finish this competition, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sick to death of not knowing what the ultimate pump-up song is. I mean, I know. All right, I get it, okay? But I'm sick to death of it not being official because I forgot to do the voting. So we're going to redoing the Pokemon song and Fat Bottom Girls this week because I don't think I ever put up the voting for that. And look, again, okay, wait, we need to play the opener of the segment before we get into it. Play the opener. Woo! The ultimate pump-up song countdown / tournament. I don't want to get copyrighted, so I'm just doing that myself. That is right. It is the Ultimate Pump-Up Song Championships, the longest competition of all time. There's never been a longer tournament. There was Quidditch games that went for less time than this, and some of those games went for months. This has been going for almost half a year. So this week we have the Pokemon song up against Fat Bottom Girls by Queen. Both bangers. Obviously, look, we all know my preference by now. If you're new to the podcast and you don't know my preference, okay, let's go through them. Pokemon song, we've already done this, so it'll be quick. Pokemon song is this one, if you don't remember. Just getting it up. We'll admit, it's got some firepower behind it. All right, it's an equipped song. got 80s piano, car, inspirational lyrics, and sends a message to all that you can be the greatest like no one ever was. A carriage will pull us through. I need me and you, Pokemon. The singer's like, I can't teach you anything. All right, teach yourself. Teach the next generation of students your talent. I don't have time. All right, I've got competitions to run. I'm sorry. I am the best singer, but that's fine. So yeah, and then we're versing Fat Bottom Girls. Okay, now if you haven't heard Fat Bottom Girls, maybe quit your life, huh? Maybe exit because you've been missing out. And to be honest, you know what? I wish I could hear this song for the first time again. If you haven't heard Fat Bottom Girls, I envy you because I'm about to blow your fucking mind. I wish I could go back to the day when I heard this song for the first time and just go, holy smokes. Why do I want to fight a dragon right now? Because that's the kind of energy that Freddie puts you in. Oh, god damn. Okay, we'll skip to the banger bit. So that's it, all right? That's what's up against Losing on the World. Oh, that's what's up against the Pokemon song. Now, once again, I will repeat this because I don't want any confusion. The last thing I would ever want to do is sway the competition, is influence the voting. I'm an impartial judge. So you can vote for whatever song you want. Obviously, I have my preference. You can vote for whatever song you want, okay? All right? You just make the right decision or else I can come to your house. But that's fine. And it doesn't matter as long as you vote for whatever you want, okay? And it better be Fat Bottom. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Again, so vote for whatever is true to you. If you think the Pokemon song is a better pump-up song, great. That's fine. As long as you know what's going to happen. All right? Okay? As long as you don't value your life, then that's fine. It's fine if you don't value your life. You can vote for whatever you want. But all I'm saying is vote for whatever song. Voting will be up on my YouTube channel in the community page during the week, as well as the Instagram. I have no idea what's happening with the Facebook group at the moment. It's not letting me post in it still. The Facebook group is obsolete, I think, at this point. Facebook will not let me post in my own group. I've looked into it. I don't know what's happening. I think it's a bug on Facebook. And it's fucked. I'll try it again, but I think the Facebook group is just out of action. And also, you're not 40, so who's on Facebook? If you are 40, apologies, you may be on Facebook, but that's fine. We'll just do Instagram and YouTube, and hopefully we get a unanimous decision if you all know what's good for you. So, yeah, that's it. The Ultimate Pump Up Song Championships is drawing to a close. Don't worry, I know it's been a journey, but stick at it. Because we're up to the prelim finals after this one. We really only have 2 more rounds after this until we find out which ultimate pump-up song reigns superior. And it's been a bloody journey. You can find out what's happened. I'll upload the draw so far. But yeah, it's drawing to a close. And boy, oh boy, it's going to be a thrilling finish. Because there's a lot of contenders in there. Obviously, there's one song that's better than all the others. But again, I'm not trying to sway the competition. What else do I want to discuss? Sorry, just gotta get up me notes. Now, a professional podcast would have done this. Hang on. I just wanted to make a apology. This is one thing I wrote down. I just wanted to make an apology in regards to the last podcast. The last thing I'd want to do is offend my listenership, my viewership, and I would never apologize for a joke. That's one thing I've always said. I believe in what I say. However, one thing was said on the last podcast that I don't... Lewis just sent me a Star Wars thought. Sorry, I need to put on my phone in airplane mode, or otherwise my friends send me thoughts about Star Wars throughout the day. So... I'll read the Star Wars thought actually after this. It's from Lewis. Now, what was I saying? Okay. I will stand behind most things I say. All right. That's one of the scary things about doing these podcasts. It's whatever I say is on record forever. And you know what? I have the confidence to stand behind most things I say. 99.99%. However, one thing was said that I thought crossed a line on last week's episode. And I do want to sincerely apologize to the listenership and this podcast community. I was telling a story last week about me almost pooing myself in the comfort of my own home. It was a sad story. I was maybe a little troubled as I was working my way through the tale. I was having flashbacks of the day that it happened. And the last thing you want to do is remind yourself about the time that shit almost ran down your upper thigh and your leg going into your shoes. So, at one point in the story, I regrettably said the phrase, I was frothing at the butthole. Now that was too far. That is an image that no one needed in their mind. No one wanted to picture my rabies frothing asshole. No one's ever wanted to picture that, nor do I want to picture that. And for that, I just want to say, I don't stand by that. That's not me, okay? That's the old Luke. And you've just got, what do people say? You've got to be, as long as you're trying to be better today than you were yesterday, then that's fine. So I'm growing as a person, and I hope to never make that mistake again. And I, Luke Kidgell, sincerely apologize for saying the phrase frothing at the butthole on last week's podcast. It was a bad error of judgment, and even though it was an accurate description, it didn't need to be said. And I apologize. So that's it. That's the apology. I'm glad that's out of the way. I feel relieved. I'm sure it offended a bunch of people. All right. And I don't go out of my way to be offensive. I'm not one of those offensive comedians, but frothing at the butthole, now that's pretty fucking far. Okay. I've made an edgy joke or two in my time, but frothing at the butthole is new territory for me in terms of graphic content. That is an image no one desires. And I apologize. Great. Now that's out of the way. Let's move on. Here's what we should end the podcast with. All right. Or do I have anything else to talk about after this? I think that's it. Oh, I mean, we can talk about a few more things. But yeah, okay. Let's talk about this first. I'm sick of everyone thinking they're original, saying I look like the guy from You. Oh, man, you probably haven't heard, but you probably don't realize this, but you look the guy from You. Hey, dude, don't know if anyone's ever told you, but you actually look like the guy from this show You that's on Netflix. Did you know that you look like the guy from You? Hey, Luke, did you know that you look like Martin Garrix? Hey, Luke, did you know that you look like my friend? No, I didn't know that, but I assumed. Right? You know why? I've joked about it in the past. I look like every guy ever. Got a mundane pill. Okay, my pill, my head is as boring as people at the dog park. Nothing interesting about it. It is what it is. It's genetically, honestly, I'm genetically I'm genetically a mannequin. Like, I think I'm like a little bit Scottish, a little bit from New Zealand, and I think I'm like 1/8 German, maybe, or like some type of, I think there's 1/8 German, and then I'm like clearly 1/2 mannequin, right? Or 25%, clean slate canvas. Oh, speaking of canvases, by the way, that's what that is. I was trying to think of the word last week. I was like, what's this? What's this called? It's a canvas. And my goal is to cover it with stickers. It's behind me. And as you can see, my goal is being achieved. I've got the radio mic and Jack Post released the sound sticker. It's their band, which great album, by the way. Check it out. And I also have the Eat, Sleep, Pop, Repeat Shaka sticker, which is available at lukekidgell.com. So yeah, it's all behind me. And someone commented going, oh, where can we send stickers? Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't an open invite. I just said I'm going to cover that with stickers. Not 1 point did I ask for your fucking input? Thank you very much. Now, look, I'm just going to put it with I'm just going to cover it like all my friends' stickers and stuff like that. And then I'll see how full it gets by the end. I have a lot of stickers. Like my mates have a lot of stickers. I'm friends with a lot of people that have merch. So I'll probably end up just covering it all with like all the past guests on this podcast stickers, stuff like that when I acquire them. So what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. I look like the guy from You. I get it. I've heard it. So you don't need to message me anymore. I'm fully aware of it. To be honest, I don't think I really do look like that guy. And I don't really know why girls watch that show. Girls fucking love the idea of a stalker, don't they? Oh, they love it. It's what's up with girls, like in all the biggest shows on Netflix are about creepy men either stalking or murdering women. And chicks just eat it up. They're like, oh, yeah, I'll watch that on repeat. Like, oh, Ted Bundy, I'm going to be fascinated with that for 3 months. They watch true crime documentaries of, like, horrible people doing horrible things, and it's always the biggest thing. Look, I haven't seen You. All I know is it's about a guy that remotely looks like me, and his character is a stalker. And then chicks love it. It's always girls going, you look like the guy from You. Apparently his name's Joe. And I only know that because I read the comments on my video going, he could be Joe's brother. Blah, blah, blah. It's like the most... I don't even think I look like him that much. I look way more like that Martin Garrix guy, the DJ. And I also look like... There's another actor I look like more. What's his name? Eddie Redmayne. I look a lot more like him, I reckon, than the Joe guy. You know what? I'm stoked with the Joe thing. He's a good-looking dude. I'll take that. He's a good-looking stalker. Okay? I'm just like an average-looking stalker. I'm one of those stalkers that you wouldn't brag about to your friends. Oh, I've got a stalker, but no, is he hot? No, he's not cute. Just your regular stalker. That's me. I'm not a stalker, by the way, but if I was, I'd just be an average-looking one. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I'm fully aware I look like old mate from You, and you can cease with you telling me. That's it. We get it. Thank you. That's it. Another public service announcement. What else did I have? Do I have any... How long have we been going for? I mean, I've got stuff to talk about, but I don't know if you guys want to talk about... Like, I don't know. Let me know if, like... I'm super pumped for Machine Gun Kelly's new album. I'm probably the only one who cares about that. I really like that guy. Like, he used to be like a rapper. Now he like does some more pop punk kind of rock type music he's moving into, and I know that he's recording this new album that's released in a couple of months with the drummer of Blink-182, Travis Barker, and I'm so fucking excited about this album because everything he's touched that's been like rock, I freaking love. So anyway, that's just a thing that I'm still working through is teenage angst and looking forward to pop punk albums, and that's it. You know, I don't really. That's the one thing I said before. I don't believe in a higher power. I don't really believe in much. The only thing I do believe in, really, the only thing I can look you all in the eye and say I truly believe that Blink-182's 2003 album was their best. And that's the one thing I can truly believe, that they peaked in 2003. Okay, yes, that they had a good phase after that. Dogs Eating Dogs EP, it was great. But look, I don't know if I don't think I'm very religious. I don't think I believe in a higher power. I don't believe in much, but I do believe that Blink-182 peaked in 2003. And I think that's one thing I can stand behind proudly. It's pretty sad, actually, when you just think about that. I'm not really, though. I kind of like that. I just don't believe in anything, you know? All that's important to me is just chilling, dude. Just like making the most of it, hitting
Swish, swish,
fat swishes, you know, telling people to suck my butt. Just a bunch of stuff. That's really all that's important to me. I'll just quickly finish the podcast by reading Lewis's Star Wars thought he sent me. Okay, I just had a thought about this now. If Rey calls herself a Skywalker, is that because she decided to marry the corpse of Kylo Ren after one kiss? Or does she view herself as part of the family after all the mentorship from Luke? Incestuous. That's a good thought. Don't know. she'd be a solo anyway. If she anyway, that's a bad thought, Lewis, because she'd be considered a solo if she married Ben at the end of the new one. Anyway, one thing I did want to say, I do apologize about the no podcast last week. I think it's a thing where I really appreciate everyone who listens to this podcast. I love doing it. It's one of those things where I did start recording a podcast like 10 minutes in, then someone called me. It was about my tour, so I had to take it. Then that conversation went for an hour. Then I had to go out. And then I just never ended up finishing the podcast. And it was one of those things where I was like, I felt like I was like, well, wasn't that good anyway, whatever. I just want to upload it. And I think that's one thing I'm definitely like one thing that's holding me back. I've realized in like comedy is like it's almost self-destructive in a way, which is like always aiming for perfection. And when you're putting out as much content as I am, it's not always going to be perfect. You're not always going to articulate whatever you want to say in the best possible way. Sometimes I listen back to this podcast, I'm like, I could have said that funnier, I could have said that better. And I think that's one thing this year I'm really going to try and do is not hold such a high standard for myself and my content. Obviously, I don't want to drop the standard because I'm a perfectionist. But just with stuff like podcasts and stuff, it's like I know people don't listen to this for perfection, right? It's almost the appeal. You listen to this because it's fun. I talk about funny shit. It's just a good, enjoyable listen. I get why people listen. I don't have to be laugh out loud funny all the time. And I understand that. However, sometimes in my brain, I'm like, I just want to give you guys the best content possible. And then if I'm, like the other night, I had a headache when I started recording the podcast. Maybe I wasn't in the best mood or whatever. And it's like, for some reason, I can't bring myself to put out that episode when really no one would have noticed. I'm sure it was funny and stuff like that. So that's my new rule. And that's why I wanted to get out this podcast today. It's like, just do it. Like, I just want to do it. So let me know if what you think. Like, also, I'm still open for you guys sending in like fan things. Like if you want to email the podcast at any time, if you want to send in a topic to talk about, I love doing that because really this podcast is for you all. I don't really, I do this podcast for everyone who listens to it, not for me. Okay, it is fun to do, but I don't spend all this time and effort doing it for me. So if you want to send me ideas for the podcast, that'd be awesome. And it makes it a lot more fun for me doing it, knowing there's people who are enjoying it and stuff like that. So that's what I wanted to say is like this year, a big goal of mine is not trying to be perfect, just trying to put out the content consistently. And if I do it more consistently, the content will get better anyway. I think that's one thing that I've just struggled with anyways. Like I'm always aiming for perfection. I'll be honest, there's been times in the past, like this is like a year or so ago, where I recorded a whole podcast, then got to the end, started watching it back while I was like putting it together, and then I was like, this isn't funny enough. And I just scrapped the whole fucking podcast. That's insane. I've done some insane things in the past to try and get the best content for you all. And I think that time and era is over on the internet. Like really, people just want real, authentic, uncut content. And that's what I like personally, but I still can't bring myself to do that myself, which is one thing I'm trying to overcome. So I just wanted to say that at the end that I'm going to do my best to be consistent, to keep the content as good as possible, but also just focus more on actually giving you guys a podcast as opposed to recording one, doing all the work, and then going, oh, fuck it. And then you guys never hearing it. That's the stupidest shit ever. I've done that probably like 3 or 4 times in the past, which is insane, and it's something I never want to do again. Instead, maybe just plan a little more beforehand, then do a better podcast and post it. So that's what the goal is for this year. Stay more consistent. I've definitely been doing that on YouTube, and it's been working. So if you're not subscribed over on YouTube already, definitely do that. I've been trying to do 2 videos a week up there. We're getting a bunch of stuff ready for the comedy festival. My tour promos and stuff are gonna be sick. And we've got the poster sorted, the trailers being sorted. It's been hectic. We've been trying to organize 2 tours at once while doing 2 YouTube videos a week, a bunch of podcasts like Luke and Lewis, Luke and Meg, this one. So it has been like super hectic. I've honestly, this from from like early this year, I don't think I've ever hustled this hard before. I've been like grinding. Last night, I did a 12.5-hour day. I left the house at 10. I got home at 10:30 p.m. at night. And it was just go, go, go. I think we had like half an hour off to eat. So, yeah, that's kind of like what I've been doing before this regional tour, is trying to get as much shit as possible, because we're going to be away for 3.5 weeks. So I just want to be on top of everything before I go away. So yeah, if you would, I'd love to see you guys at a show this year. The regional tour is on sale now if you're in any of those places that I mentioned before. And yeah, would love to see you at a show. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you next week. Woo! Boom.